Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down, but attendance was.
V1. WNBA players are visibly frustrated after Caitlin Clark's abrupt exit from the playoffs. Many believe fans are turning against the league because once Clark is gone, viewers simply stop watching. The latest semifinal ratings confirm it. Numbers have plummeted since her elimination, and it wasn't a fair exit either. Questionable, even blatantly biased foul calls went against her and the Indiana Fever, cutting her rookie season short. The WNBA has not been able to recover. Viewership is already down sharply since Clark was knocked out, and the trend is only getting worse as the postseason drags on without its brightest star.
Want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us? Really? Caitlin Clark is the golden.
What kind of professional league allows its best player to be treated so poorly all season long? Clark endured constant rough play, inconsistent officiating, and endless bias. Yet when the playoffs came, the Fever weren't even allowed to host a home game. Instead of protecting its most valuable asset, the WNBA let its postseason die, and the fans responded the only way they could. They tuned out. This is the only major sport where interest decreases the deeper you go into the playoffs. Meanwhile, Clark is now reportedly headed to Europe for a break. But that break could easily turn into something bigger, as EuroLeague teams circle with massive offers to lure her overseas.
A team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games.
And honestly, who would fault her for leaving? In Europe, Caitlin Clark could earn nearly 10 times her WNBA salary and be treated with the respect she deserves. The WNBA has already failed her in multiple ways, most notably by denying her a unanimous Rookie of the Year award. Despite her historic season, one voter shockingly chose Angel Reese, robbing Clark of a clean sweep. That single decision felt like a deliberate slight, and fans are demanding accountability. Who was the voter? Why did the league protect their identity? Instead of transparency, the WNBA chose silence, and in doing so, fueled more frustration among the very fans Clark brought to the sport.
Unanimous.
Should have been. I agree. It should have been unanimous. And one of the things that sticks with me is, well, she was the first rookie to get a...
Meanwhile, the effect on viewership has been devastating. Ratings are collapsing by the minute, and the Caitlin Clark effect is now impossible to deny. The truth is simple. Fans wanted Clark. Without her, they don't see a reason to watch. Even Aya Wilson, the league's MVP, was forced to respond after fans labeled her style of play boring. The players feel the weight of it, but the numbers don't lie. Clark was the star, and without her, the shine has faded.
Or the year that I've seen anyone call my game boring than it's ever been. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
Wilson's frustration highlights the uncomfortable reality. Despite winning MVP honors, she hasn't generated anywhere near the buzz that Clark created in a single rookie season. Wilson is respected within the league, but Clark changed the conversation entirely, shifting casual fans into diehards, turning everyday games into must-watch events. Her impact has been unmatched, and the decline since her exit proves it.
Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment? Why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why exactly? Why when Asia was releasing a shoe were we talking about?
The magnitude of Clark's absence goes beyond ratings. It exposes a deeper truth. The WNBA's newfound audience was built almost entirely on her shoulders. She was the lightning rod who pulled attention not just to the Fever, but to the league as a whole. When Indiana lost to the Connecticut Sun, ending Clark's rookie season, the fallout was immediate. The staggering drop in viewership didn't just reflect her absence. It revealed how dependent the WNBA had become on a single star to carry its momentum.
2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership. from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did.
After Clark's elimination, viewership dropped by more than half. That isn't a coincidence, and it isn't a fluke. It's a glaring sign that her presence was driving the league's growth. Without her, the WNBA has been exposed for what it is, a product that cannot retain its audience without Clark at the center of it. Fans weren't tuning in for the league. They were tuning in for Caitlin. And now, the cracks are impossible to ignore.
Since, Angel Reese had that injury, to me, and also coming off of Olympic break, Caitlin Clark separated herself. Yeah. She should have been unanimous. Now to celebrate her, one thing that people forget is as a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8.
This sharp decline should serve as a wake-up call. For years, the WNBA has battled low ratings and poor attendance, but Clark's breakout rookie year felt like a turning point. Her games broke records and created momentum the league had never experienced before. Yet the moment she was gone, the buzz evaporated. The remaining teams may be competitive, but they lacked the star power and charisma Clark brought every night. Fans who had been glued to her games had no reason to stick around once she was out, and the excitement surrounding the playoffs collapsed with her exit.
Jordan effect on the NBA and the game of basketball. I would argue at one point early on there was a Steph Curry effect on the NBA and on basketball also. You bet your ass there is a Caitlin Clark effect on all of basketball and especially on women's basketball.
What makes this even worse is the way it happened. Clark didn't just lose. She was beaten down all season long by physical play that referees refused to call. Night after night, she was hacked, shoved, and fouled with little to no protection. For a player of her caliber, for the league's biggest draw, it was unacceptable. The WNBA praised her talent publicly, yet failed to protect her on the court. Ultimately, that lack of protection wore her down and led to her team's defeat.
I don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world. Something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or...
The playoff series against the Connecticut Sun was the clearest example. Clark was fouled hard repeatedly, yet whistles rarely came. Fans watched in frustration as she was knocked to the floor, only for referees to swallow their whistles. It was as if the league didn't understand how critical it was to protect its own star. This wasn't just one bad night of officiating. It's part of a larger problem. The WNBA has long struggled with inconsistent calls, but when the face of your league is the one suffering, the damage multiplies. Letting your biggest star be beaten down is not just unfair, it's bad business.
Has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlin's being used as a pawn. Mm-hmm. Caitlin didn't bring citizens to the WNBA. This has been happening. And that, I think, is what's been such a shock.
Clark's rookie year was more than a personal triumph. It was the WNBA's chance to finally break into the mainstream. She brought in new fans from across the country, many of whom had never watched women's basketball before. Her games were cultural events, and for a moment, it felt like the league had truly turned a corner. But by failing to protect her, the WNBA squandered that opportunity. Fans saw what happened. They saw her fouled, shoved, and hacked without proper officiating. And they were vocal about it, flooding social media with outrage. The perception is clear. The league let Caitlin Clark down.
Very, very few people, but there are some out there who resent the fact that this young white girl came out there and did her thing. Rookie of the year, 4th in the league for MVP voting, assist leader, one of the top leading scorers after the Olympic Games. She put on a show, validating all the attention she was.
Now, that perception has turned into a dangerous sentiment that the WNBA doesn't care about protecting its stars. And if fans believe that, loyalty will vanish quickly. Clark has already done more for the league in one season than many veterans have in their entire careers. But if the league refuses to act, it risks losing not only Clark, but other players who could grow the game alongside her. This isn't just about wins and losses anymore. This is about the future of the league.
Viewers 4 WNBA games that Caitlin Clark is not in is like 3 to 4 million. When she's in the game, when it's her game playing, it's like 17 million.
Yeah. Well, I also look at the attendance in the arena.
Yes.
It's 8 to 10,000 everywhere else. Caitlin Clark, 17, 18.
Yep.
And as if Clark's playoff exit wasn't frustrating enough, another controversy followed. Despite breaking records and driving the WNBA's growth, she was denied a unanimous Rookie of the Year award. One voter cast their ballot for Angel Reese instead. That lone vote prevented Clark from achieving the unanimous recognition she clearly earned, sparking outrage among fans who saw it as yet another slight against the player who carried the league.
If you are rooting against Caitlin Clark because you like another team, there's very few of them.
I'm excited
even if it's that.
I'm excited to see.
The backlash was swift. Fans demanded to know how anyone could justify voting against Clark after her historic season. She had single-handedly elevated the league's profile, drawn in millions of new viewers, and shattered records. Yet when it came time to recognize her, the WNBA failed. To make matters worse, the league has refused to reveal the identity of the dissenting voter, keeping them anonymous. That lack of transparency only fueled more anger. To Clark supporters, it felt like the league was intentionally diminishing her accomplishments.
Second half really set the tone for me, for her to be, and should have been, the unanimous Rookie of the Year.
And it wasn't just one triple-double. She had 2 on the season.
And this is why we would love for the WNBA to make voting not anonymous. Because if you were the person that had
Stand
that
on
one
it.
vote, you should just be able to stand on it, and we should know.
But this wasn't just about one award. The Rookie of the Year snub created a lasting perception problem. Clark did everything in her power to elevate the WNBA. Yet when recognition was due, she was denied. Many fans now believe the league doesn't fully appreciate what she's done, and that belief could have lasting effects. If the WNBA wants to build loyalty, it must show that achievements are respected and celebrated. Right now, fans are questioning the integrity of the process itself.
Best player in the country.
To the media or me?
As you see it.
I feel like I'm the best player.
For Clark personally, the snub may only add fuel to the fire. She's already proven she can dominate the court, and being slighted like this could become even more motivation for her to come back stronger. But for the league, this is not a story that fades quietly. The controversy has created a credibility issue that will not be easy to repair. Fans won't forget it, and they won't stop questioning whether Clark is truly being given the respect she deserves.
Question is, who did it? Speak loud and clear, raise your hand, all that good stuff.
Now, with Clark stepping away for a 200-day break from professional basketball, the WNBA faces its toughest challenge yet. For the next several months, the league must find a way to hold fan interest without its biggest star. But with ratings already plummeting since her playoff exit, the task looks daunting. Basketball will continue overseas, but the WNBA will sit idle, trying to hold onto momentum that was already slipping. Without Clark, the void is enormous, and it's unclear if the league can fill it.
Has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything.
If the WNBA wants to keep Caitlin Clark long-term, it must act now. The physical punishment she endured all season was unsustainable. If the league doesn't fix its officiating issues, Clark could look to Europe, where players are not only better protected, but also far better compensated. EuroLeague teams are waiting with open checkbooks, offering higher salaries and stronger support systems. If Clark were to leave, it would be a devastating blow, not just to her team, but to the league as a whole. The WNBA cannot afford to lose the star who put it back on the map.
A rising tide lifts all boats. If folks were more receptive to it, more moments would have arrived. I still contend Caitlin Clark should have been on Team USA. Imagine the international, the global audience that would have followed her. But folks missed it because of feelings, not business.
To prevent that nightmare scenario, the league must prioritize Clark's safety and well-being. That means holding referees accountable, ensuring fouls are called consistently, and preventing defenders from using excessive physical play to wear her down. Clark has already brought in millions of new fans, spiked viewership, and elevated the WNBA to relevance it hasn't had in decades. But her absence has revealed the league's biggest vulnerability, an over-reliance on one player to keep fans engaged. If she isn't protected, the entire foundation risks collapsing.
Somebody thinks Angel Reese was the Rookie of the Year? Fine.
Maybe it's a writer who covered her team in Chicago. Okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, I don't know if Caitlin Clark's going to go, can you believe I didn't go unanimous? Now, I thought we would have unanimous MVP and unanimous rookie.
The next few months are critical. The WNBA cannot afford to ignore the lessons of Caitlin Clark's rookie season. Her absence has shown just how fragile the league's popularity truly is, and unless changes are made, all the momentum she brought will fade. The path forward is clear. Protect your stars, build a deeper base of marketable talent, and give fans a reason to stay engaged even when Clark isn't on the court. Because Clark isn't just another player. She's the future of the WNBA. She turned games into events, made casual fans care, and gave the league a cultural relevance it has never seen before. If the WNBA fails to recognize her value, if it continues to allow bias, mistreatment, and poor officiating, it risks losing the very player who made it relevant in the first place. And if Clark walks, the millions of fans she brought with her will walk too.